I'm Leonard Garrison, Associate Professor of Flute at the University of Idaho. And in this series of videos based on French intermediate flute repertoire, I'm presenting today the deux morceaux, or two pieces, by Henri Büsser. They're titled Les Cygnes, or the Swans, and Les Écureuils, or the Squirrels, for nature lovers particularly. Now, the composer Henri Büsser, who lived from 1872 to 1973, was a truly long-lived French composer, organist, and conductor with important connections to the 19th century. He studied organ with César Franck and was friends with Jules Massenet, one of the famous opera composers, and was chosen by Claude Debussy to conduct numerous performances of the latter's opera Péléas et Mélisande. And Büsser's orchestration of Debussy's Petite Suite is widely performed. So for most of his career, he taught composition at the Paris Conservatory, a very important position. He wrote many operas and much chamber music, fortunately, including several delightful works for flute. Best known is his Prélude et Scherzo, a 1908 Paris Conservatory contest piece included in the famous book by Louis Moïse, The Flute Music by French Composers, published by Schirmer. His flute works also include another contest piece, less known, Andalusia sur des thèmes andalous, opus 86. This is a contest piece from 1933. He also wrote these beautiful intermediate level pieces, the deux morceaux, and also featured in my series on intermediate French pieces, the Petite Suite by Büsser, which is not the same as Debussy's Petite Suite, which he orchestrated. Now, these two pieces, Les Cygnes et Les Écureuils, must be purchased separately, although they make a set together. The Swans is a slow movement, and the Squirrels is a faster movement. These pieces are useful stepping stones on the student's path to the famous French contest solos, as they introduce the same challenges encountered in more advanced work: beauty and flexibility of tone in all registers, clarity of articulation and coordination between tongue and fingers. So the National Flute Association rates these pieces as difficulty level G. Now let's talk about Les Cygnes, the first piece, the Swans. Most of this piece is in A major, a key unfamiliar to many young flutists. So start by practicing the scale in 2 octaves. There are, of course, 3 sharps: F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. Use proper fingerings. For instance, many people make the mistake of fingering high F or low and middle F sharp with the middle finger instead of the ring finger. This is what I call R3. So please use that fingering instead of this fingering, which sounds much better. I will compare the sound. So the proper fingering has a much clearer sound and better intonation. Another challenge in this key is intonation. And the C sharp, the third note of the scale, tends to be very sharp. So you have to bring that note down by dropping your jaw, maybe rolling it a little bit, maybe pushing your head down a little bit. And then the high register notes tend to be very sharp from the high F sharp, G sharp, and A. Now, andantino is slightly faster than andante or walking. And of course, moderato is a moderate tempo. So the composer's suggestion of quarter equals 100 is perfect. There is no printed flute dynamic at the beginning, but dolce espressivo, or sweet and expressive, suggests not too loud, but with some intensity of vibrato, shaping each four-measure phrase according to the line. Swans glide across the water, so play with a beautiful legato, or a connected style. The fingers must synchronize perfectly, and each finger movement should be quick and light. Another aspect of legato is direction in the airstream. Blow between the notes, making sure the air never stops or slackens. Think and move horizontally, not vertically. In music like this, one never needs to beat time. Yet another component of legato is how one uses vibrato, which needs to be continuous, independent of the original notes. So take care not to restart the vibrato at each note change. Follow all of the many detailed dynamic shadings. The phrase after letter A is particularly difficult because of the diminuendo at the end on high A flat. Start by practicing a long tone high A flat and a medium dynamic. Then try this note starting forte and tapering al niente, or to nothing. As you taper, keep the air fast, bring the lips together without tensing, and move the lips out and up. Once you develop control of the A flat, you can put this phrase together. Do not diminuendo too early. In fact, start your diminuendo one measure after it is written. At letter B, the tempo is a little faster, about quarter equals 108. At the sixth bar of the section, à l'aise means at ease or relax, and en retenant un peu à peu means gradually slow down. In the measure before letter C, start with a full tone in the low register to make room for a lovely diminuendo as you ascend while slowing. The main theme returns at letter C, this time in the high register. Try to match your dynamic and color from the beginning. In other words, not too loud or strident. A good vowel to use is oo, as in truth. The ending features another difficult taper on a high note. Although the flute's last four bars are marked an octave higher at one's choice, or ad libitum, it really is more effective in the higher octave. So take a good breath before the pianissimo trilled E. Take your time on the two pickups to the last note, the D sharp and E. And then when playing the soft high A, the last note of this piece, put your right hand pinky on the C sharp key rather than the D sharp key. The tone is clearer and easier to control. We're ready to listen to Les Cygnes, or The Swans, by Henri Büsser, featuring myself, Leonard Garrison, flutist, with my excellent colleague, Roger McVeigh, pianist. Now on to the companion piece, Les Écureuils, or The Squirrels. The mood changes completely here. To achieve the desired playfulness, perform close to the indicated tempo of 128 to the beat. Now this piece is in ternary or ABA form, with the staccato outer sections in D major and the slower middle section in B flat and then A flat major. Follow all of the details of articulation and dynamics. Thus, practice slowly at first. Employ a clear but light staccato, and leggero means light. Tongue with a D. With a T, it's too explosive. With a D, the tongue is in the same place. It touches the upper palate right behind the front teeth, but is pleasantly light. Take particular care with the third line, which starts loudly in the low register and proceeds with a softer playing in the high register. In this style, grace notes should be played quickly and just before the beat. So in measure 7, use the trill fingering for F sharp, the middle finger or R2. So you go E, F sharp, E. It's lifting that first finger. The best fingering for the high G-A-G in measure 16 is a trill from G. So to play A, add the G sharp key simultaneously with both trill keys. That's G, A, G, or play measure 17 in the written octave as the ottava marking ends here. That letter A, moins vif, means less brilliant or slower. Now the printed tempo of 120 to the beat is not sufficiently relaxed. A more effective contrast with the opening section is 104 to the beat. play as legato as possible to contrast with the style of the first section. Since the first measure of letter A is in the low register, start a little louder than mezzo forte to set up the piano contrast in the second bar. In the fifth bar of this section, add the right-hand ring finger on the high F to correct pitch. And in the 10th bar, add the right hand middle and ring fingers, or R2 and 3, to the high A flat. Cede literally means yield or slow down. So ritardando gradually in the 4 bars before letter B. At letter B, the original theme returns, along with, of course, a quicker tempo. Now, the most difficult part of this reprise is the penultimate measure, a rapid D major scale. So, in beats 1 and 2, practice in 4-note groups. And in the third beat, subdivide in 3 groups of 3. Now work this out slowly with the metronome in the fashion that I call beat to beat. And once you're sufficiently confident about that speed, then you can bump your metronome up 1 level and keep going until you achieve the fast tempo that is required by the piece. Now let's listen to the second of these 2 pieces by Henri Büsser, Les Écureuils, or The Squirrels, with myself, flutist Leonard Garrison, and pianist Roger McVeigh. Well, I hope you enjoyed this performance of this delightful work, and as you explore it yourself, good luck or bonne chance.